Hi guys, welcome to our first episode of the Gold Nugget Gang Podcast. I am Nicholas, aka Dr. Gengar. We have
I am Javier. I'm Roly Poly on IG.
And I'm Santosh. I'm Mr. Gengar because I also call it Gengar. But jokes aside, yeah, I'm part of Bartertrade and also part of Vault250. So thanks for having me, guys, for your first podcast.
Yeah. So we maybe can describe a bit to us. Our first episode here, we've been lucky enough to have Santosh invite us to the store, which is Bartertrade Singapore. Maybe you can share a bit about what Bartertrade Singapore is.
Yeah, so Bartertrade Singapore, as what the name says, is barter trading. So what we do is we trade in stuff for, with a certain value, especially value for us. So we'll do like trade in either for cash or for, whatever items that you like. So we have done various amounts of trades before, like Funko Pops for booster packs, booster boxes, stuff like that. So it's quite fun where when you hear the story of where people get their stuff, and it's quite nice like when you hear stories like that.
Okay, that's good. And then you also have Vault250 and Rebirth Vault. Maybe you can share a little more about that.
Yeah, okay. So Vault250, it's more like it's more to the security of our precious cards that we slept up, or even cards that we haven't slept meaning like PSA graded or Becker graded or whatever not. So it's to keep them secured. So we have the boxes and also the slab cases. So most probably we'll be talking a bit about it later. Yeah, so that's for Vault250. Rebirth Vault, basically what we do is we do grading. Yeah, we have been doing grading since 2019. More to like our close friends or whatever not, but recently we have like opened up to public lah. Yeah, we just don't want to compete with the big guys out there. Just slowly.
I know who you are, the big
Yeah.
We're just a small guy.
Small guys,
Personal collection.
Yeah,
So actually today's podcast, we as a kickoff, we wanted to sort of start talking a little bit about buying and selling in the general market of Pokemon cards or trading cards in Singapore.
Okay.
Maybe what would be a good kickoff is, personally for yourselves.
Yeah.
When did you sort of really get into, cards and buying into cards? I think that would be a good place for where we can start off. Santosh yourself?
Okay. So for me, firstly, I'm pretty sure all of us started during like our school days lah, like primary school and secondary school or whatever not. Then there will be a period of time where we will think we are too cool for cards, and then totally stop the whole thing.
Go to
goals. And then after that, what happens when you have adult money, you start working, and then you'll go back to your kind of your first love, which is collecting cards and whatever not. So that's what kind of happened to me. So I started collecting during Plasma Freeze. Actually, that's when I got my adult money. So Plasma Freeze is what, black and white?
Black and white, right?
No idea. I think it's like
Black and white. So started during then. Then was stationed in States for a while. Then got my collection even bigger. A lot of XY stuff. Then what happened is came back to States. Afiq and I, my partner Afiq and I, my business partner, we started playing competitive. So that's where the whole because both of us, we used to play for fun back in the day. Then we tell ourselves lah, why not just play competitive lah? And just nice, both our favorite Pokemon cards came out. So for him is like the Charizard and Reshiram. So we started playing during the tag team era lah. So then for me, definitely is Gengar and Mimikyu lah. So we played that for, I think, just nice till 2019. That was our last regional that we really went. Then after that, COVID happened, this happened, that happened, right? So after that we dabble a bit of collection to our own self, like collecting our own stuff, a couple of seal products here and there for for future purposes and investment here and there. Then we started grading cards, learn about grading, what it does for a card, and then we started collecting, making our so-called arsenal bigger, right? On the things that we like actually, to begin with, nothing to do with like purely on investment or whatever. It's just cards that we like, right? The artwork, the Pokemon, and stuff like that. So then after that we continued with what we have, and then here we are, having a shop, having like boxes to keep our products and whatever not lah. So that's my journey. Yeah, that's my journey. How about you?
That's a very colorful journey. I just think I'll ever do that, man. Like everyone else, Pokemon's a childhood thing, right?
Yeah.
We kind of collected since young. I had a pal, just left it there. Then, as you get adult money, I started collecting whiskey instead. Space whiskey, hibikis,
Okay.
a whole bunch. But in Canada, when I was there, so that was during COVID. I learned that the Pokemon started trending like crazy. So my family told me that you have a whole bunch of Pokemon cards at home, right? So the moment I stepped back to Singapore, first thing I did was I liquidated all my hibikis and then moved back full into Pokemon.
Okay.
Yeah, so started with vintage because that's the only thing I know. But then there's more and more of these modern cards started appearing. Team GX, then there's a whole bunch of Scarlet Violet, Sun and Moon. So those ones are too new to me. So I slowly had to pay my tuition fee, learn what is to collect, what is can't collect. But eventually the whole journey was like finding myself since 2021, moving away from vintage and then started to move to modern. And then only to realize that I like Team Rocket, which then mixed back to my username, which is a roly poly. So now it's pure focus on Rocket only, nothing else already.
Nice.
My champion festival stuff, but that's about it.
Nice. I mean, having a team it's very good.
Yeah, keep that focus you down. You don't overspend.
Yeah.
It's quite scary when you want to diversify.
Yep. I mean, I'm pretty sure you would know the best because you collect specifically Gengars. So same for me. So we have to strategize on the things that we want to get, and things. Yeah.
Money is never unlimited.
Yeah. So that's I guess that's some way of starting like liquidating on another asset class to another asset class.
Yeah. Can't collect everything as those at home.
Yeah. It's limited.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
sure.
How about yourself?
Me, so mine's a bit. I'm a much later collector. For me, I only started in the Lost Origin era.
Oh, wow, first that's very modern.
Yeah, very modern. And I actually didn't start with Gengar, or it's just that I started with my base set, my childhood base set cards, and I went and grade it. Then from there I thought, oh, what else should I buy? And then you dabble and you realize suddenly in a month's time or 2 weeks or 2 months time you have a box full of cards, you have a box full of slabs, and you think, oh, should I slap myself? Then you send, I think I sent my first or second submission for grading. I sent almost 60 Gengar cards. So then that's where it started. So it's been since there's a Lost Origin, I guess 2022, 23? Somewhere around there, I think.
Lost Origin is the Gina, right?
Yeah, Jared. Yeah. So about there, and then I think JV is the first person I met when I started collecting, because I went for grading with Oxley because at time I was just searching around and I found them. They were at Park Lane.
Yeah, that's long time ago.
Yeah, then
Greed.
then Greed, and then I bought my cards, and then I on childhood cards. Then I showed Javier, and then he said, "Oh, some of these are fake." And then so we just threw the fake ones away, and then we kept the other ones. So it's been that since then. And I guess I've always been a buyer and seller of things. So my sort of hobby is that I'll buy more things and then I'll sell those things to fund the things that I want to keep. So I guess a sort of reseller kind of fine, and that's sort of grown. So I buy, sell, and now that's sort of what I do. I guess reseller and vending and boothing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's developed lah. So am I chasing anything now? Maybe my own Masaki tens or but yeah, I think it reached a point where my collection wise, I'm sort of like
Stagnant or
I'm just waiting for a new card that may come out that I really, 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 really like. Or the rest is just whatever I buy and then it's in stock or I'll sell and things like that. So, but nothing really, yeah. But the collection is still very firmly on Gengar. Like I haven't sort of expanded to Team Rocket or trainers or things like that. Even though like now there's maybe like artists that you sort of look into. But yeah, that's the.
And I think our collection should be at this point quite plateaued already. We will have roughly know what we want, what we don't anyhow buy.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, for me personally, because I'm like Kim, I collect Gengar. To the point, okay, I not only collect Gengar, I collect other stuff. Like, so I collect Mewtwo's and Darkrai. So these are my three collection that I have now. But initially, I started collecting when I started like collecting for myself. It was these three, because we can have 6 Pokemon like in the trainer mentality, right? So my 6 Pokemon that I collected was what was it? Umbreon, Tyranitar, and Steelix.
Steelix is quite unique.
Yeah.
I would never thought that somebody would collect.
Yeah, I still have some of Steelix. I still have some of the Umbreons and the Tyranitar. But those cards are that two alone. We are talking about older Tyranitas and whatever. Those are expensive.
So
we have to talk about Umbreon. Umbreon is another expensive card. So, and plus my hobby itself is expensive. Like Gengars, you know how expensive they can be.
yeah,
Mewtwo's are expensive. Darkrai's not really expensive. They are expensive cards. They are exclusive to US, exclusive to Japan, but generally okay priced. But the rest of my collections are heavily priced.
yeah.
And this was before the price hiked and pre-COVID period, and that period of time is already at a certain echelon of price itself, right?
now higher.
Yeah, now is I'm like why did I buy then? We all have that.
No, cannot think this.
Yeah, correct. We all have that feeling, I should have bought it then, right?
The
But
FOMO.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, we had to grow with with times, right? So like the prices are as what it is, right? We don't know who determine the price nowadays, right? I mean, people are asking who determines price.
Yeah, who set the price?
Who's setting the price, right? So it's insane. Like we all know, we take reference from a couple of sources, then we give the prices, right?
Correct.
But the thing is, who put the price there?
Yeah, who actually bought the last sold?
Yeah, some people, I mean, okay, you think about it, it's all about market manipulation. I mean, I'm sorry we are dabbling into that topic, right? Yeah. But it's all about market manipulation. Like, who's the one manipulating the market? There will be one guy buying multiple copies of this one card and then flooding the whole scene with that one card, and just like in Singapore's mentality is I'm trying to 2x this particular product. That's the mentality of Singaporeans, right? Instead of like getting it at the cost price or maybe cost price plus certain amount.
There's always a premium to it, like either delivery fee.
Yeah. So it's quite, to me personally, as a collector / vendor / business owner / store owner, it's quite sad lah, right? Where the hobby is going to. I mean, okay, like for example, if a young kid who wants to enter the scene now, it's not easy for the young kid to start anything.
They can do trade up challenges.
That's the only thing they can do.
Every trade show.
Yeah, but that's the only thing they can do, because that's the only option they have.
But I think the youngsters who are getting into into this hobby, right, they have to set their mindset straight. Is whether they're coming in as a true hobby of collecting, or are they here to take the opportunity to learn how to manage their finances. Like, you try to buy, resell. Or is he trying to just buy and keep?
And I mean, in the current context, right, it's all about social media, right? Some of them is just doing it just for the clickbait or content, or some like special clicks that they'll like something happens, then it'll become a trend, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, that's my take lah.
Yeah,
That's my take.
It's a good
right?
thing. It's a good thing, and you cover quite a lot of things. I mean, you covered about the pricing going up, but
Yeah.
I think we've seen a lot of waves and a lot of cycles. Even from my time from Giratina and Lost Origin and Silver Tempest, there was those few, like before there was Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike was available. Prices wasn't going up. You can still buy pack like say 90 or the Then I think when Silver Tempest sort of came up and SV1 was about to be released, then there was also a peak of people buying out a lot of things. But the hype was a small hype compared to the current hype lah. That was, I think, a one wave, and then now is the bigger wave. But we're also seeing some of the waves, the wave maybe dipping a bit like maybe Journey Together is not selling out as fast as it people thought it would be.
People learn their lessons. The last round, all the earlier sets, right, when they release, right, there's always this FOMO that you didn't manage to get the silk product. And then when the item released for the rare that pull out, everybody went crazy with the price, 2x, 3x. Because they scared they may not be able to buy it anymore. Maybe the price will go up, right? Like Evolving Sky was one of the best example already. But nowadays, it doesn't look like there's a shortage of supply for the newer ones. I think you can always get it. And I think people learn their lesson that, don't buy early. Straight away. You can wait for the price to drop.
Yeah. And also there's maybe reprints. But I mean, just going back to your point about like new collectors starting. So we've been vendoring since locally in Singapore since I think maybe 2023 myself, because the first trade show in Singapore was the one at Kallang. Where was the Kallang, I think 2020. I think
2023, that's where
yeah. So that was the first one, and that was like, and at the point of time when I was vendoring, I was just saying I got too many things. I bought too many things over the years. I need to count my collection, right? So just that's the best way. It wasn't about like profiting, right? It was like I just need to clear my collection. I have a Gengar, PSA 9, Fusion Destruction Strike, the AA.
Yeah.
The time it was like PSA 9 sell for $200. It's like, oh, okay, I'll just sell, You just want to clear, and just clear everything. So you can then slowly you do more trade shows and you see the waves but yeah, that's how it sort of started. And I think just going back to your point about the cases and having vault and the security. Last time I remember I just bought those magnetic boxes. There was no like everybody's now carrying a case. The rocket case is now most vendors will have a magnetic case, a case
with
to prevent thefts and things like that. But it's I think you see a lot of people and then you recognize them. Then a next trade show, then you have new people. So definitely, I think there's more new collectors coming in.
New people coming into the scene.
Yeah. Then I think it's a wave. Like, even for me, I felt like I've collected for a good year and a half. Like, I think I to your point about collecting all of the things that you've collected, then we sort of see things like some of these waves coming in and feeling a bit stagnant. I did feel a bit like stagnant about buying my own things after, because you almost bought almost things you buy. Then sort of the question of what's next, right? But I guess that's sort of the development of the market and how things change over the years, But yeah, there's something I think is quite interesting in terms of the buying and selling, especially in the Singapore market,
Yeah. I think you have to spend your time trying to read the market, see what everyone is moving. But generally, I think they're all mostly influenced by overseas actors. Right. For example, like the English now is crazy. The vintage English prices are going up, and I don't know who's dealing with it, but somehow they are going up. Therefore, everybody's buying out the English vintage.
Yeah.
And then the Japanese are not so pricey as before anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the other way around.
Yeah, it used to.
There was one period of time it was the other way around where Japanese cards are
demand.
and it's a bit more pricier than the English ones.
Yeah.
But I guess something happened and now we are at where we are now. Like English cards are way more pricier. And Japanese cards are just pricey.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
But just overall Singapore is too small to even influence any of this, right? We can't just write anybody's information that comes along.
All right.
The question is now in Singapore, who is spreading the information around to bring up this trend of the prices? You know,
Yeah. So it's more like I will have to say it's we are at a juncture where it's a monkey see monkey do kind of thing, right? So
fair enough.
like I mean why is there a lot of trade shows nowadays? Like every other week there is trade shows. Like previously, I mean last week y'all were at one trade show, right?
Yeah, we were watching. Yeah.
Yeah. So like every other week there's a trade show. Like why do we need to do that? Like if you are following other countries, right? Like states, for example, right? They have trade shows, but do they have like every other week?
They have it every month, I think.
Yeah, it's
different location.
yeah, it's different location, different states and stuff like that. So yeah, Singapore is a small country, you know, we don't really need to have. I understand the demand is there, right? The demand for people to come in and buy stuff and, you know, sell their stuff, like what you say, you know, sell whatever you have and whatever. It's a good avenue, but you know, especially I'm speaking for myself. I'm pretty sure you guys are about the same, right? You will be burnt out. Like as a vendor,
it's very tough.
you will be burnt out.
Correct,
Like every other week doing this, it's crazy.
Yeah,
right.
Agree.
And yeah, I mean, you can choose not to do it, right? But why are we doing it?
Yeah, but actually these trade shows are getting bigger and bigger, right? They're no longer the small miniature size where 20 booths, 30 booths.
I remember the
CAA.
first trade show I went, I think was
National Library, no?
No. I mean that was me when I mean in Singapore. The first trade show I went was Office Space.
Office Space?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the one collectible one, I think.
I think so. I remember by who.
First one.
That one is
Very fast. Yeah. And it was an Office Space and you know, I mean yes, it was crowded, but no, it was like very small scale. Like
yes.
they are trying to do something.
Yes.
You know, and everything. So it was fun because you know you don't see that in Singapore. But now it's like to the point. I mean, am I complaining? Not really. Am I stating the fact? Yes, because it's just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not complaining because it's like in the end we are still selling what we want to sell, right?
Right.
So it's more on the point of do we need that or not?
I think it's just a current wave, you know, like bubble tea, when one wedding scene, right, everybody bring a few more, then suddenly bubble tea everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
Eventually you can stabilize somehow, yeah.
Yeah, you can say that lah, but you know, if you have too much bubble tea also, you know what happened, right?
Unhealthy for you.
Yeah, so what is healthy in our hobby?
What's healthy?
And one is in my vision now, things are getting unhealthy lah.
I do
Slowly lah.
hopefully after June it sort of
Dies down every year.
so like this year, I think historically, every month there are the small trade shows at the different shops. Locally there's Obo, Collectible, there's also so those are the monthly ones. The one that are sort of bigger events like last year was September
At Library.
Then after that there was like 3 or 4 months nothing. So then we did the Bartertrade one in January.
And then February
one
was at Malaysia Library again.
Then after February was the Colexicon, I think. So you're in between that. Then so that was early. That was like
Much and nothing.
then
But then April onwards started picking up again.
and last week then it was one.
Yeah,
Colexicon is also very
having another one. Yeah,
and then later on will be another one. I think Zoomies also has another one soon. And then there is going to be the one with Oxley at
Expo. Yeah, so
Expo.
if you realize you just listed, you know, things that happened last week until June.
Yeah.
There's like 3 more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's spent about
in a span.
Yeah, maybe
In a span of about 6 weeks. So average every 2 weeks, every fortnight there will be one.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
it's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Rather tiring.
It is. I didn't know. So the last trade show that I did, which was the Colexicon one, 2 days. On the second day, I actually fell sick.
Yeah.
I was telling people, and I was already a bit out there already. So when people wanted to negotiate with me, I was like, in my heart, I was like, can you just go away? Yeah. But I was just sitting there with my face. I was just like, I don't know, like,
Okay, but vendor is tough. Like,
you most of the time you don't really have time to go and have lunch or
no lunch, no for your break.
yeah. Then so what?
Sometimes there's no time to even eat.
Yeah,
Actually, that's most of the time lah, not sometimes.
For me, it's good. Like I have to lose weight, but you don't get the energy that you get.
Yeah.
Cooking, and then you get distracted.
Yeah.
But I think it's tough. But I think we just I think for me now, I think and for some of us at the Gold Nugget Gang, we're thinking about is how can we maybe spread out a little bit. Like we say, okay, we give ourselves a bit of time to recuperate, not just our energy, but also the cards. Because one thing about vendoring, I think people don't think about is if I go every week and sell, I also need time to restock. I want to make new things. Or else the same people will come to my booth and like, oh, it's the same thing I saw last week. So why should I come and buy from you? Right? So it takes time for us to refresh our stock as well. And then not to be dry. And then some of us, if you got kids, then you release 1 weekend now spending your kids, then your wife will maybe say something, or your partner, or your girlfriend say, okay, your whole weekend never spend. Maybe Sam's allowed here.
So that's another one as well. Yeah.
So I think that's from the vendor's perspective. It's like we've been doing this for a while. And now I guess this company, or I don't know whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but there's a lot more vendors. Yeah, like when we started out in like past few trade shows, I recognize most people. Yeah. Then like the last few, then like, oh wow, who's this guy?
A lot of new players.
Then there's a lot of new players.
Like I'm pretty sure. Okay, the June one, when I saw the layout, right? I mean, we all can see our layouts ready, right? For the June the expo one, right? Some of the names I don't even know who.
Yeah, we wouldn't know.
There is one whole row of I don't know who.
Yeah.
And it's just beside me. I don't know who is this.
Oh, you'll be them the day.
I will be there on 21st, but
Yeah.
of course. Oh yeah, but it's I mean it's a good thing. Like a lot of people are coming into the hobby, a lot to the business side of the thing. But it also feels some people are treating it as a quick buck. Instead of like the whole purpose of being a vendor. Right, when you're vendoring, right, it's all about you're sharing stories, you're meeting another person. I mean, this is how I see it, right? And this is how I do vending at 250, right? So usually is they come look at your stuff, then they will be sharing a story. I mean their story, and then we will be starting. Basically, it's like a human connection.
Okay.
Right? I mean that's how I see it. So like you are letting go of something that you have, especially if let's say if it's from your own personal collection.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you are letting go something of your own personal collection, and then you are getting something in return.
Yeah.
Right? So like that's one way. Or let's say it's something, I mean, this is how I see lah, like on my own accord, right? So I feel now people are just using like during trade shows and whatever, it's just they buy whatever they buy during pre-trade show, and then they just go to the trade show and vomit it out and expect the vomit to have some gold in it.
Yeah. Well, that's their risk they have to take, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it feels very fake.
I guess, yeah, we can possibly. No.
Well, the larger the trade show you have, the more chance of encountering such issues. Is it?
Yeah,
Like the smaller ones back then, we know where we know each other. There's no way you can pull this kind of stuff.
exactly my point.
Now the bigger ones, you got to see new people, new emergence of strategy to try to do the vending.
Yeah,
But more importantly, I think like with so much more new trade shows and audience coming in and people flow of the people coming in, right? Security becomes a big issue for all of us.
yes,
Right.
yeah. That's a very key issue or key point that we need to address actually.
Yeah. So with the vendors, I mean, we did. I think it just started in the June one, the last National Library one. I think before that,
You wouldn't know also, things disappear.
there were some cases at some smaller trade shows.
Yeah.
Like there were some trade shows at like some small shops. So it's just that when there are a lot of people, then maybe people will think like a card or so. They were like, oh, my vendor is missing on time. But it's just that I think this trade show that we happened recently in June, not June, sorry, in February.
Oh, okay.
There were like really a lot of cases. I was quite surprised that so many items and slabs. Like there was like $3,000-4,000 worth of one person's slab that went missing.
Yeah.
And then you cannot find as well.
Yeah.
Then I think there were, because some of the vendors, they recognize some guys, but even though you find the guy, you also cannot get back the side.
Yeah, it's like a
He said, she said,
exactly like so that's where we have to talk about security and like basically some things are unavoidable lah, right?
Yeah.
We can't be covering all areas, but we must try our best to cover everything lah, right? Because in the end it's still human negligence, right? We are all tired after a certain time. You will be tired.
You will not be able to pay attention to all.
Yeah, so I guess one thing is having a bigger team, having rotations and whatever not. Which I'm lucky enough that Vault250 is big enough to do that. Or another one is having a secured way of displaying your stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So like for example, at Vault250 we have created a slab case where you can it not only put slabs but actually you can put sealed products.
The box.
Booster boxes can fit.
Yeah, can fit.
So and we also have those trying, like for example, if you want to keep it closed, you can keep it closed, but we have the triangles to keep it open. So it's to prevent people from coming in and just taking when it's open.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's we are trying to create something that it's is the security that vendors need, right? So during, like, if you realize most of the trade shows now, we are actually trying to rent this the slab cases to the vendors, because firstly we have gotten a lot of good feedbacks on it.
Yeah.
Right. Secondly, we ourselves realize there is such a importance of this product out there because of the security and everything. At least it keeps the vendors' mind slightly
We feel safer, that's for sure.
at peace lah, right?
No, we definitely haven't, anything that's been in the steps, we
Won't disappear.
disappear.
It's all there on the Taobao stands that we get. They all have it.
So I'm lucky enough to be part of the team to create this, and to even to advocate and to advise people to have this as part of their arsenal, to for their trade shows, because it's a very good. I can't be saying my product is very good. I have to listen from people's testimony, man.
Right.
So people's testimony from the day that we introduced this to the market, right? It has been always good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, and y'all were using it.
Yeah, we've been using it.
Yeah,
We bought two.
yeah.
Actually, regardless of the brand, it's highly advisable. Everybody should get one. Even if you can rent it from somebody, borrow from somebody, it should be used for your slabs.
Yeah.
It says $50 slab, $60 slab. Given a chance open in the naked table, somebody's gonna take it.
Yeah,
Swipe it.
Before I had this, I had a very a cheap version.
Okay.
Cheap version. What I did was I go to those hardware shops in Singapore. I buy the table, the plastic table sheets.
Okay.
So you can get those at like 3mm or 5mm. And they're not bad. So what I do is I'll put the steps on the table and I'll drape that over the whole table.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Then I'll clamp the
Yeah, I've seen it before. I've seen it before.
version. Then the most that will cost is $20. But then it's very hard for me if I open up and then I need to take the
Right.
and then you move, then everything's gonna go here.
Yeah. So
This really helps a lot.
yeah, because it's after all, you are still displaying something, and it has to be some form of organization there. So yeah, all these were our thought process for making this lah, right? So I'm glad that people using it and people are happy with it. There's more stuff coming up lah. You just have to wait lah.
Some trade shows actually partner up with you, right, to now offer that service to
Yes.
yeah.
So previously the big one so far was the SG Card Show.
Yeah.
The previous one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, the fact.
Yeah. So most probably vendors want to work with us because of the element of security lah.
Yeah. I think it's a must have. You cannot not have it if you have so much slabs brought forward.
Yeah. So I mean, we did talk about security. We talk about sort of buying and selling and hype and things like that. But off the top of your head, do you all? I mean, if anybody who's sort of watching this and thinking like, wow, do I want to be a vendor? What do I want to do? Like, what are some things or tips that you would sort of maybe get them to consider or to think about, before they sign up, and spend a few $100 to get the case, to sign up for the booth, anything that, tips that, that you think can help sort of somebody who wants to start vendoring?
I think my personal experience is don't do solo. You need buddies, partners who you can trust to work with, right? I personally felt that 2 people vending a table is already quite tiring.
Yeah.
3, I think 3 is a good number. 4 is also good, depending on how big the table is. So I think the first advice or lesson I learned is that you need friends.
Yeah.
Like-minded people actually.
Yeah. Common hobby, people can trust, pass the slap around because people are gonna help you sell too.
Yeah. So having a good team is very good. I mean, is necessary, not very, very necessary. Another, I mean, those points are valid and it's important also. But another very important, I would say, very important pointer to have is stamina lah. Yeah. Because the whole day you will be there, looking at people, talking to people, is energy draining. It's really energy draining, and I mean, I can just say lah, but I'm pretty sure if all of us we can agree to this, by the end of the day you will be tired, and then you need to prepare for the next day.
Yeah, still have a stock take.
Yeah, so we all have been there, done that, and still doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So why are we still doing it is because we have the passion for it lah, right? We love what we do. And in the end we are still making friends along the way lah, like One Piece lah,
Yeah,
it's the One Piece journey together is the the One Piece is the friendship lah.
It'll take 20 years to find a One Piece.
Yeah, right. So the pointers here is like you need to have a good team. Important is be friendly lah. That's very important. Like
it's true.
yeah, because you can't be be all grumpy and you are meeting people.
Customers are gonna be
Customers, yeah. So you won't know who you are meeting. Firstly,
True.
and then let's say if that one person just
Takes your
takes your nerve or whatever, you need to stay cool lah.
It's true.
It's very important to stay cool because things might happen, and then unfortunately things will happen. We just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Right. So professionalism lah, I would say professionalism and staying cool is very important in this I won't say industry, but in this scene lah, yeah.
So friends and professionalism is very important.
Yeah.
I think once you're friendly, you got a good team. I do notice that that there are a lot of vendors that are also starting to team up. Or they, like they used to maybe do solo on their own, but they found a gang and then they sort of drew together, see the same faces together as well. So I think everybody's sort of doing that as well. So if you are new, definitely go and find a few friends. I mean, we've seen like Regen Pals, you got a good 3 or 4 of them. They take a table, they manage it quite well. We've seen Card Alliance also did that as well. Now the team of 4 or 5.
Correct.
So quite a few of these groups have sort of
grown
together.
Yeah, even for myself, like initially we will work to. I mean, initially we were Rebirth work, right, as a booth, right. So only 3, 4 of us only.
Yeah.
But I mean now as Vault250 is we really have a team. We really have a team, focusing on different areas of the hobby.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing lah. So it's like what Nick said, find a group of people, or you feel that this particular group is like aligned with your ideology and whatever not. Yeah, that should be the way lah actually. Cause like what Roly Poly said, right? It's not fun to do it alone.
Definitely not fun.
Not fun to do it alone.
You have to watch out for so many things.
Yes.
You see your binder, watch your slaps.
Yep.
You'll go nuts by then already. But,
Yeah,
you won't remember what you have left.
exactly. That's another thing, right? If you're doing it alone, you cannot diverse yourself into so many areas of focus.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Right. So like if you are focused, let's say if you go just slabs, you're selling slabs. Sure. I mean, your focus is just on slabs. But then by the time the energy level goes down, your the attention won't be there also.
Correct.
So yeah lah, it's always good to have a buddy, like just to check on you,
Yeah.
just to crack jokes. Sometimes if you realize, when we are like when I see him, I'll be just talking non rubbish. Then see him also talk rubbish. Then they come to my booth also talk rubbish. So it's like when you're walking around and everything, you see familiar friends. Just to maybe before I talk to him, he like very tired already or what. Then I just crack a joke. Then he like okay, some energy.
Encouragement that is needed.
Yeah,
Whole show.
yeah. So it's just like you need that kind of small motivations or small like inserts of energy just to push yourself through to the show lah, right? Because it can be 8 hours, can be 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours.
Maybe one more thing also I noticed, I think about is that when you go to the shows, must have as a seller, you must always think, what's the variety that I'm bringing to the show? Because like let's say now if our latest show, right, most people will have a lot of things like from Journey Together. A lot of them will have slabs. A lot of them will have Sunbeyond slabs. A lot of them would maybe have a few ponchos here and there. But I think you need to maybe consider, like, because if everybody's selling Sunbeyonds, then the only way your Sunbeyond will sell is if it's the lowest price, right? So I think if you do want to go into this, when you take a collection, you have to see, have I been collecting a lot of things that other people are also selling? So before you vendor, maybe you want to go to different trade shows and see, like, okay, if I want to sell, am I selling the same thing that everybody's selling, right? So then I think that may be a good, like, I think some of the vendors we see, they specialize in like vintage, like Wailing Collectibles, he really only does vintage, and then black and white, sun and moon, around there.
Yeah.
Then like for example, Mendoza guy, his focus really is just Pikachus, right? I want to bring and sell all the different Pikachus or the promos and things like that. Maybe some EB, some side arts. Then Regen Pals is focused on the modern stuff. So people know that, these are things that you're gonna have. Then I was famous for selling Jang slabs. I buy people's Jang slabs and sell for $20, right? So I think having a bit of that uniqueness as a vendor is also something to consider and think about. Yeah. So now you also covered a bit on quite a lot on the vendor side. I think one of the things that we want to talk about in terms of the buying, selling, the Singaporean market is like, if a new collector is coming up today, like, like for me, when Lost Origin came out, like, what are some of the things that you guys may want to sort of recommend to a new collector? Not somebody, we put aside the collectors that are sort of coming in for a quick flip, like people just want to open a Sunbeyond, flip it, sell it, there are a lot of scalpers, whether you call them scalpers or flippers or whatever. I mean, I think put them aside, but somebody who's listening, somebody's thinking like, wow, Pokemon's quite cool, there's nostalgia here, I want to come in, but boxes are so expensive, things like that, so many people are now so popular. Where do I start? I think that maybe, do you have any ideas, or anything any comments that you may want to sort of give to a new collector that's coming back into the hobby or restarting the hobby or starting totally from scratch,
I think it would be good to check your cut list for the new set that's released. Every new set, you have a look at the cut list, what's out, what designs are in there. Is there something that attracts you for the set, right? If you're just collecting, then check the cut list, buy the singles. If you want to feel the feeling of tearing, ripping things, then go ahead and try, right? No doubt. But if you're gonna flip, then you better do a lot of your homework, right? Because the prices at the start will go insane. People just buy it out every funny prices. So I guess main advice is check your cut list, see anything you want, then you decide you embark on that set.
Okay. In the same point, right? I feel so those people who are coming into the scene like now, right? Important thing to know here is, why are you coming to the scene? right? Is there a specific Pokemon because of the specific Pokemon you're coming to the scene, right? Because I like Pikachu's, for example. I like Pikachu's. So is the recent set, is there any Pikachu's? Or let's say don't have. Or then let me go and see what is the modern Pikachu's. Is it in my price range? You know, that kind of thing. So by doing that, right, you won't feel it's painful because you are getting something you like.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm pretty sure that's the reason for me. For me personally, that's why I hunt down Gengars that the Gengars that I have is all hunted down. In that same likeness lah. I'm pretty sure that's for yourself also, right? So for you probably the same, like hunting down Team Rocket most probably is because you wanted Team Rocket, right?
Yeah.
So like that is the key point for people who are coming into the scene, like get a specific genre or a specific Pokemon that you want, then you start, right? If you want to start like straight away you want to do master set, I mean I'm not advising against it. It's going to be expensive because especially if you're talking about English booster boxes. Let's say now the new one that's going to come out is what is it called?
Glory to Team Rocket.
Glory to Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese one, right?
Yeah.
So let's say the English one that's coming out is what rivals? Destiny Rivals, right? So that box I'm pretty sure is going to be expensive, right? Pretty sure it's going to be expensive. The English one, right? And that box itself, there is so many cards. So for you to hunt down for every single card in the set as a new person, it's going to be pricey, right? And as a new person, that's one of the thing that you are thinking about. Wow, it's going to be so expensive, like.
Yeah.
Like let's say if or for me, if it's a Gengar, it's expensive, but it's a Gengar. It's something that I like, right? So that's is a different kind of question that you ask yourself, right? So I mean, I'm not saying I don't do master sets. I do master sets, but then I have a particular method of doing master sets, right? I mean, till now, I left with 2 more cards to do my master sets for 151.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if I could just buy it off internet, but that's not the whole, the way of doing trades and whatever. No, I mean, a bit more traditional in that sense, lah. Right. So, as a new, like to answer your question again, to newcomers, don't just because influenced by another person then go into it. Just touch your heart and say, whether you like this particular Pokemon or not.
Yeah.
If you like the Pokemon, then you see whether that set got that particular Pokemon. If not, like what you said, see the card list and whatever.
Yeah.
If not, then go to the next nearest set that has the Pokemon. Then you start from there.
Yeah, that one need to do homework already.
Yeah. Everything need homework lah.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure,
because it's expensive lah, right? Everything
expensive hobby to
yeah, so everything need to do a bit of homework here and there. But because of, like, let's say if you like that particular Pokemon, your amount of homework will be like
huge, man. If you do Pikachu alone.
no, yeah, but it will be streamlined instead of like the whole Jingang, right?
Yes.
It will be streamlined, right? So in a way that should be I feel that should be the way lah. I mean, everybody got their own ways of dabbling it, but sure, I mean,
Unique other collections that people have also artists like you come up.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like illustrated themes, yeah.
Or maybe you're an Aiga, you like Ariga's fan world, then you can collect those. So I think there's some ways that you can go down Pokemon path. You can go down the path of the artists themselves. You can also go maybe a certain genre, like maybe ghost or what.
Yeah.
Or or there are some people just collecting so they don't bother opening the boxes. They just buy the sell, or they just buy SARs, or some people just buy AR.
Yeah.
So I think having a very specific niche will help lah. If you just buy every single.
Yeah. So it's like we have seen different types of collectors out there lah. So everybody got their own way of collecting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we shouldn't, like, we can advise, but we shouldn't tell, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, there are people who are so rich that they have so much money that they'll just buy, like they buy 100 ponchos,
the big collector scene, man.
So I think also one thing is also the comparison. Like one person doesn't have a poncho doesn't mean that you have to go and buy for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you buy for the hype, more you will definitely get burnt.
Yeah.
Because like for now, a card like let's say the Sunbreon that's a PSA 10 in English, it's going for about 4,000 Sing dollars. If they do mass reprints or the card quality, the printer improves by a certain great amount, that card's gonna drop crazy. And we've seen it with the Moonbreon, at a peak, I think a few years ago it was like $2,000. Then it dropped to $1,000.
Then went back.
Then went back up for. Then we don't know whether that will drop again lah.
I mean, it went down.
No, it went back down.
Yeah, it went back down.
Yeah.
It's at high 2s, low 3s now.
Yeah.
It's maintaining for a while. Let's see how far you can drop again, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't, like you say, we were saying that we don't know who is
Exactly.
controlling this
We don't know
market.
who is controlling this market.
You can't predict the trend. You don't know what is trending.
Yeah, that's why I mean even in shop, right, when people come to barter trade, when they ask for ARs and whatever, right, I say I got to check the price. Because the price for these cards are going up and down every day.
Yeah.
It's a daily occurrence. It's like stocks.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to put a price on them.
Yeah.
Right? Like put a sticker price kind of thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we be able to cover buying and selling in Singapore quite a bit. We talk about the vendors, we talk about how new collectors can come in. Maybe one thing to sort of ask is like, where do you see Pokemon card collecting? No need to give any financial advice or what, but just on what you've seen, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think we're gonna have more collectors? Do you foresee a bubble bursting? Do you think people will collect different things, or where do you think because I think one thing that we've also noticed is there's a lot of new shops. When we were growing up, I think it's only like a handful of shops, right? Like last time you were at the specific shops that sell TCG was like really like
very, very small. Yeah.
Over the past 20 years, new shops come. And I think in the past 2 or 3 years, there's a lot of people opening up their options, which is good. It means there's a variety, there's competition, and I mean, just we've been doing this for a while, buying and selling, we've vendoring, we've seen shops come and go. I mean, do you think that anything will do you think there's a prediction in terms of what the card market is going to go in the next 6 to 12 months? Or where do you see things going in the next 6 to 12 months?
I think that the Pokemon is our generation kind of things, and it's really spent the because of the company's existence for so long, right? Almost got to be 30 years already.
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
Which means they'll cover quite a few generations of variety of people already.
Yeah.
Which also leads to the question that or rather my prediction that each set will become more valuable depending on when people have money to spend. Like for me right now, I'm from the Wizard of the Coast era. So when I come back, the first thing I'll do, I'll throw money on the Wizard of the Coast, the vintage sets, right? And therefore the prices are high. But you can slowly tell that it's moving away. It had a wave, it dropped, and then moved to the semi-modern, the black white era, the XY, where people just started working. They have money now, and then they started FOMO. They remember their old stuff, nostalgia. They want to pay for it. Right?
Yeah.
So it depends on when people start to get money. So I think that's a good mindset, or rather a concept to think about for the next 6 to 12 months, right? Where the trend is go. But I don't think Pokemon will drop. The bubble may deflate a little bit, but somebody will hype it up again.
Yeah. So I mean that's my take also lah. I mean we have seen bubble burst before, right? It's not a new thing.
Yeah, it's not
right.
bubble.
So it's like during COVID also there was a hype and then it went down a bit. Pre-COVID also same thing. So it's all a cycle lah. Like it's like in the same financial market kind of thing. I mean, yeah, you said don't talk about financial stuff, but I'm drawing parallel to it, right? It's not I'm saying any advice or I'm just drawing parallel to it. So it's more to like what he said. on the spending of money,
Mm.
right? So the people who spend money on the particular set they want,
Yeah.
right? Thus the price of the things will go up because supply and demand,
Yeah.
right? All this is supply and demand, right?
Right.
So when the supply is very high and the supply is high and the demand is low,
Prices
prices drop.
Yeah.
So other way is when the demand is super high and the supply is low, prices go up. So like for example during COVID period, all those celebrities who bought stuff,
Yeah.
all the base set this lah, base set that lah,
Hype so much, man.
the prices of that inflated so much. But because of that, because of social media, because of Twitter, because of that and this, people got to know. People get invested on it. People want to buy.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, whether to 6 to 12 months, whether things will, as long as social media, I'm telling you, things will be as what it is or even more than what it is. I mean, people who are in the hobby for the longest time will know there will be a deflate, right? Whether is it a burst, that only future will let us know lah. But definitely there will be a deflate, right? There will be a down, right? But as the down goes down a bit, next day, next few months or whatever, the up will happen again.
Yeah.
It's quite shocking to see it, but we have seen it.
Yeah.
We have seen it so many times.
Van Gogh Pikachu was one.
Exactly. That's one. It was how much only?
Start off was what?
$300.
No.
When you first came out, like not 500 for the Ross card, right? Then after that, there's other supply. They dropped the 120.
Yeah. Then after that, now we are looking at 1,000
for PSA 10.
Yeah. So it's always like that lah. I mean, we all know generally a set like will appreciate in value over a certain number of years, right? Some Japanese sets will go up in value in 2 years. Example, right? So like English sets, some of them might go up, some of them will be stagnant, but never go down. I never seen an English set that went down drastically. I mean, definitely will go down, but not drastically, right? Like a very good example, like during Sword and Shield era, right? No one really cared for the rapid strike. What is it called? Battle styles. No one really cared for battle styles.
Oh, you mean that
The set, the set.
Yeah, okay.
Right, just before Fusion Strike, right? No one really cared for that set. But then now look at it, people want that set also.
I was quite surprised. Somebody
I was surprised
to buy back. I thought, maybe it's $100 card, right? He showed me that. I went and checked ALD. It was almost $1,000.
I was surprised.
So what card is it?
The Battle Stars, the Urshifu
Urshifu.
AA, no? The Urshifu
Oh my
AA.
god, Urshifu
The one
is
that's
$1,000?
I mean, I was just very shocked, but I mean, I thought, Urshifu AA, okay, maybe next time.
So like in Sword and Shield era, that was actually to me that the battle the whole battle style thing was a failed project. That the whole gimmick was a fail. In terms of playability lah, I feel it's a failed project lah.
But for collection wise, not an issue.
No, but initially, I mean, no one really cared for the set, man.
Yeah.
No one really cared for the set because like it's just a bear, it's just 2 bears,
That's right.
kind of thing. But then when Fusion Strike came out, then the whole scandal thing happened.
Yeah.
The whole
West there was
the Mew
AA.
take out, and so there was a scandal thing happen. That was around the era lah, right? That period, like 2022, 2023, around that. I think it's 23, I forgot. But yeah, but now I was shocked also. Like recently someone asked me about Battle Styles. Then I'm like, what, that set people still want?
Yeah.
I was shocked when people really want that set.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so it will take some time, like for sets to appreciate in value. But the appreciation that we see nowadays is quite insane, especially when it started with the Evolving Skies. I mean, which is part of Sword and Shield era, but it was quite insane. That set alone was insane. Then the rest of the thing follow suit lah. The rest of the Sword and Shield follow suit. Yeah.
But evolution's always been. Evolutions are the ones
yeah.
People is always commonly in demand.
Yeah, and the Black Cat is the must have lah,
Yeah. But I think Singapore is like stuck in somewhere in between the two different big players like you in Japan and United States, right? Like in Japan, most people collect Japanese. In USA, most people collect English.
Yeah.
So then the prices are manipulated by this, or rather fluctuated by these two countries. And then since Singapore is mixed, and we are always everything chapalang, we'll give anything like we are somewhere stuck in this in this little place where you see both English high and then Japanese high. Then basically Pokemon is still expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So right now it's just nice. It's tip in this little skewed balance where English is a bit more expensive. Right?
You don't know, somewhere down the line, few years down the line, something will change and Japanese will go up.
Go back again.
But crazy, because I think one of the examples that I can give where the prices really just roller coasted was I had the Giratina Lost Origin, right? When I first bought that, the Japanese one was hovering at 1,000 Sing dollars, PSA 10.
Yeah.
And the English was about $400. So, but don't know what happened. So Jap was like, everybody's buying Jap. No, then Giratina was like 1,000, 2,000. It never went up too high lah.
Yeah.
But then, like in the span of 3 or 4 weeks, I sold the two raw English ones for $200. I thought, okay lah, the Jap's quite nice. I'll just keep, I won't risk the one. So then I said, how come 10's going up? Then keep bringing up 600, 700. Then the Jap dropped to like 700-800, and then the English went up to 1,002. And now English is, I think, it's about 1,003 or 1,004,
roughly around there.
maybe about 1,002, just a bit lower lah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I was like, this was $400 a few weeks ago. Like, what the hell happened for it to jump to $1,200? And also Future Strike, the Gengar VMAX A.
Sure.
Like, I was holding on to, I bought one for like maybe, at that point of time when I was buying, when I first bought, it was like $100 a card or $200 a card. I got a few, managed to buy. And English and Japanese was same price. But then the crazy thing was, the English shot up to 2,000. Then after that, the Jap also started shot to 1,000, 2,003. So I mean, that's quite crazy in terms of some of the prices.
Yeah, I mean, we can see this specific hike stuff that when crazy. It was last year December, this year January lah. Like things went up. I don't know how many X lah. It's quite crazy. Like for example, okay, the collection that I had was the Mewtwo. Mewtwo GX, right? So I had the English one, I had the Japanese one. So Japanese one was relatively higher than English.
Yeah.
Relatively higher.
Yeah. In
Right.
2024.
Yeah, relatively higher. So came December, then I sold a few of my Japanese English and Japanese ones. I still have a few, right? Not saying I don't have, but it's just the price change in those.
Yeah.
Right now, PSA 10 Mewtwo, I think is going close to 3K.
Oh,
Close-
serious?
close
The
to-
English one?
Somebody
English
showed us
one.
a 8 at the trade show, right?
Yeah.
8 at the trade show, yeah.
He was trying to sell, but then
Market is about $400 for an 8.
still quite
Close to 3K, about north of 2K, but close to 3K. Then another example is, I mean, we are talking. I mean, now Team Rocket is a hot set, right?
Yeah.
So another one is Rocket's Mewtwo EX. I saw the jump. I was shocked also.
This the rocket,
the English one.
vintage rocket.
The EX
Is that what 4K, 5K?
Yeah. For PSA 10. Even a PSA 7, which I have, is going at 1.7 or something.
Oh,
There's more than the Jet PSA 10.
Yeah.
PSA 10 is about 1,000.
It's insane. Bro, it's insane.
say then right?
It's insane.
Copy if anyone wants to buy, let me know.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, so to boil down how we started this whole way, who's the one? Who's the one?
Who?
Yeah,
We still don't know who.
but I mean, it's that's how the market is. The market is very bearish now. Bullish.
Bully, yeah.
Yeah, super bullish.
But I guess that also means that, like when I tell everybody asks me for collection, what I collect, right? I always tell them, say you really have to collect what you like. Like if I collect Masaki Gengas, right? If tomorrow a Masaki Gengar price crashed to $10 each, right? I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I can live with it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I always tell because that because you cannot, if you think of it as just purely as investment, right? Like let's say if you say a Sambrion, right? If tomorrow you today spend $4,000 on Sambrion, next week it drops out to $2,000, you will feel the pain. Versus like I see this purely as
Investments. It's emotional investment.
whereas for us it's like I spend a lot of time collecting this. I went to get the signatures. I went to hunt for this. If it really drops to like in half its value, I'll be like, oh, it's okay lah. Because it's still
Personal items.
but I mean, we'll be happy because I can buy more Masaki Gengas, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's actually a very good advice. I think that we should go into the newcomer should go into the
Specific.
right.
Which is what I said just now. Like,
Very specific, and you must be ready to accept the fact that whatever you buy, the price is not going to remain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
Right.
cannot accept that.
Then don't start.
If you are coming with a mentality to invest, then you better do a shitload of homework. Just to make sure you understand the market trend and how it works.
Yeah, because you will be heartbroken. You will be heartbroken because prices of these, like whatever we just said, it's just in a matter of a few months only.
yeah, somebody play some.
Yeah, but in a matter of a few months, these prices will go down also. We will never know, right? So, like, if you like that particular thing, it won't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, not say it will don't matter at all.
Yeah.
It won't really matter because you put a it's still money, right?
Yeah.
You still buy it, right? But if people coming in to the point that I'm purely buying this just purely on investment,
Yeah.
then that's the wrong thing, lah.
Wrong.
Yeah.
We also increases all the scalpers and everything like that.
If
Exactly.
you want to do investment, like if anybody listening just want to do investment, better come in with the mindset that you're gonna have to pay for it. And if you want to bargain, you better get ready to be burned by the vendor who is gonna,
give
you a judgy look, right?
Yeah.
And there's no way you can always win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's sort of a good segue lah, right? In terms of where we've sort of seen the market. We covered a lot of things in terms of like the buying and selling, the vendoring. Don't know what the future is. But yeah, do you any else you want to sort of share in terms of like buying and selling or the market that you've seen today? You know, add on to it.
I mean personally, I think we spoke mostly what we spoke about is the pointer you just brought up, right? So I mean ultimately still you do what you want to do lah.
Yeah.
Right? It's still your money. Like everybody's hobby is different.
Yeah.
And I mean there's no like a hard and fast rule on how to do things, and some people just do it and then get burned, then learn from it.
Yeah.
Some people is just like get advice from people and then go into the thing. So it's really no hard and fast rule. Like, so I'm pretty sure we have some of the things that we also enter is we learn from burning lah.
Of course, you pay
Right.
tuition fee, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like what you said, tuition fee, right? So it's really the experience that really counts, and whether the experience will help you
Go in this collection.
Yes, correct. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
My 2 cents in this whole topic of collection, and whether entering the scene, whether is it healthy or not healthy, kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't think there's any more to add, but rather, why don't we talk about what we're gonna talk next?
Oh yeah.
Because
Thanks. We'll figure out next week. But if you have any questions that about card collecting or grading, storage, I think things like that we want to sort of cover over the next few episodes. If there's anything that you guys feel that if you're listening to this and you think like, just some questions there, just drop us a message, drop Santosh a message, myself, or
maybe I'll comment.
and then we'll try and sort of see what are the things that we can cover. But I guess that will sort of round off our session today. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you, Santosh, for joining us.
Thanks for
If you're in the Queensway area, do come and drop by. If you have storage cases for your next vendoring booth, go check out Vault250. They're also releasing new colors for their cases as well, so that you can display three items, and then you can also have about 60 steps in there.
60 plus
60 plus steps. So yeah, do check out Vault250. Do check out we'll put all the socials or links into the descriptions. And yeah, if that's all, then thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. See y'all.